Perfect. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in. Today, we are hosting the modern pre-departure event for UK-bound students, and we have an interesting panel lined up for you. So just to begin with, I'm Aman Singh. I represent University Living, the company responsible for hosting this session. And we have industry experts on the panel across various domains. So we have universities from the UK, we have accommodation experts from the UK, we have representation from international banks, matrix, as well as airlines. So just to give you a quick clarity, so the first half of the discussion would be more inclined towards the various updates that the university representatives have for us. And the second half, we can have more discussion with the service providers and how everyone has lined up in order to assist you in the best way possible. Plus, one exciting thing for this particular event is the exclusive discounts and freebies for the attendees who have joined us today. So without any further ado, I'll give you a quick introduction to the panel that we have. So we have Ms. Shivani from Brunel University. She heads South Asia for Brunel University, London. Then we have Shruti Jaggi. She is the Regional Advisor, South Asia at Nottingham Trent University. And we have Davina Smith. She is the International Recruitment Officer at University of Liverpool. We have Ashley Jones, who's representing Collegiate Student Accommodation. Then we have Mr. Manik, who is representing HSBC International Bank. So firstly, the first question I would like to put up is to Ashley. So Ashley, since you're based out of UK, right, just wanted to understand how's the ground reality there, and has life resumed to normal, and what are the different plans already in place in order to welcome the students on shore?
So in the UK now, there is a large sense of normality starting to hit us. So, travel is starting to be quite normal. Buses are full, trains are full, the roads are getting fuller. So, and people are starting to get back to normal, which is great. And as I'm sure a lot of you have seen, our vaccination program is one of the best in the world. And that has really allowed us to, to provide confidence and get back to a lot of normality. So we started to see that quite a lot, and a lot of our students are now starting to use our residences a lot more. So a lot of our residences have a lot of communal space, and a lot of those over lockdown were limited in terms of its use. But now, a lot of the students are using them, and we get to put on a lot of fun activities and all the things that we've been wanting to do over the last couple of years. So yes, there is a sense of normality, which is great. And that, I think, is feeding into the student experience. And that's why a lot of students are picking the UK now, because there is a chance to get back to that normality. So yeah, absolutely.
Great, sounds good. Sounds actually very wonderful to see things getting back to normal in the UK, right? And you correctly highlighted the vaccination program in the UK is one of the strongest. We can move on from there and we can touch down upon that topic at a later stage. So next we'll have some questions with the university representative. So we'll try and answer the burning questions that majority of the students would have several doubts regarding. So just wanted to understand how exactly each of the universities have planned the institutional mandatory hotel quarantine. So Shruti, would you like to begin with? How has Nottingham University has planned?
Sure. Thank you, Aman. Thank you, University Living, firstly, for giving this opportunity today. And I'm sure all the students who are listening to us would definitely get a lot of more insights from the UK universities, and as well as, into your banking and SIM cards and all of those things that are really mandatory for you now while you're preparing your journey to the respective universities. So in terms of the quarantine, what we would say is that NTU is happy to, reimburse the cost of £1,750 for per student, of course, as long as they are able to show their receipts while they quarantine. So it's like, for example, these are only for selected hotels. So one of them, of course, is Heathrow. So if you land on the London Heathrow Airport, then the nearest hotels that you would be quarantining in, it has to be a government approved hotel. So, for the 10 days quarantine, you just maintain your receipts and then you show us. And in the second term, we will be, reimbursing you in the second half of the semester or the term, basically. So those are the basic things. So it's only for the current September 2021 students only for Nottingham Trent University. So that is how the support is being provided. Yeah.
Perfect. Fair enough. Shivani, would you like to add and explain the students how is Brunel University planning to take care of this?
So thanks, Aman. Great question. I think you're right. It's a burning question because I think it's a huge cost. 1750
Yeah.
approximately could be about 8 to 10% of the tuition fee. So it does. It could cause a big hole in the pocket. But also we have to see both sides of the coin. And from Brunel's perspective, yes, we will be reimbursing the entire 1750 to students in their UK bank account. In their second term. We're also offering it for returning students. So let's say if it was a student who was stuck in India due to the pandemic, but now is traveling to start their second term or third term or their second year, they will also be getting a refund of the 1750. Obviously, this is their paperwork, like Shruti already mentioned. They need to be clear and thorough with that. They have to have valid proof of the payment of the quarantine cost. And I think this is the least support that we could offer to our wonderful students coming from red list countries.
Perfect. Thanks, Shivani. Davina, would you like to touch upon this?
Sure. Thank you so much, Aman, for inviting me as well. And it's a great opportunity here. And not very different from what my colleagues Shruti and Shivani have actually shared here. So at Liverpool as well, we would be offering a 1750 quarantine cost support. The only thing is that we'll be, like the others said, we'll also be reimbursing once the student has registered at our university. So you'll have to pay for your costs when you are registering for the hotels when you're arriving to the UK. Only when you are done with your verifications, registrations, and all the formalities at the university, then I think a couple of weeks later we'll be then giving students a form to fill up, and their amount will be transferred into their bank accounts. So that's there. But for Liverpool also, it is just for the first year students, both undergrads and postgrads who are coming for the first time, not for the returning students, unfortunately.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So as Ashley earlier highlighted, right, as per the latest statistics that I gathered this morning, so almost 70% of the entire population in the UK is vaccinated with the first dose, and around 55% of the entire population has been vaccinated with the second dose. So just wanted to understand from our universities here, how exactly is the vaccination program in place, because the students, they have several doubts. So there are different permutation and combinations that happen. So if you would like to touch on that as well.
Yeah, sure. Maybe just to take one step back on arrival in the UK. So as you all know, India is a red list country at the moment, but if it does move to amber, then obviously that requirement to quarantine in a government approved hotel obviously is removed. So just so that you know, if India does move to an amber status, then there are accommodation providers like Collegiate, who I work for, who will provide you accommodation for free before your contract start date. So if you booked a contract with us, as an example, for the 15th of August, 15th of September, then we will provide you free accommodation for the whole of August and leading up to the 15th of September. So you can book that in, which gives you a huge amount of flexibility in terms of booking flights. And also when you do arrive, you will have that, you will not have to pay for any additional accommodation before your start date. So, that's, not all providers do that, but there are some that are doing that. So just as if those circumstances change, then their accommodation providers are also set up ready to support students coming from India.
Thanks, Ashley. But I actually intended to ask this question to the university representatives that we have. And so nonetheless, thank you so much for the added information. So Shivani, would you like to take this up?
The vaccine bit, right?
Yeah.
I think one thing which was really good, and I think Ashley touched upon this before, that the UK has been the most, I think, forward and fast-tracked the vaccination program. I think today's stats were 68% of the entire population is double vaccinated, and 86% has got their first dose. I think this is super amazing. India is currently at about 5%. I know our population is much larger, but even then, I think we have the capacity to do it. But I don't know why we're not getting onto it faster. As a part of the Tier 4 student visa, the guidance that came through the UKVI a couple of weeks back and through Buila was that students will be eligible for a vaccine as per the government guideline of the eligibility. So if you're under the age of 30, you'll probably get a Pfizer or a Moderna, which is currently available there. If you're plus the age of 30, then you could get a choice between Oxford, AstraZeneca, Pfizer, Moderna, and any new one that comes available. So students, this is your worry. Also, if you have been vaccinated, whether for Covishield or for Covaxin, please don't stress about it. I think vaccine in such a pandemic, whatever is available, take it. Everything will finally fall into place for all of us. Just to highlight, with lots of students panic about Covaxin, and I always hit upon this joke. Prime Minister Modi has been vaccinated with 2 doses of Covaxin. He's not going to be banned to travel anywhere in the world. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we're a democratic country and that rule will be applicable to anyone who's got Covaxin. So please don't stress about it. Get yourself vaccinated if you do get a slot. If you're unable to get a slot or you're scared to get it right now and you want to get it in the UK, you're more than welcome to do that. The process is very simple. You get your NHS details, you log on to the NHS website, you put in your postcode, you will see a nearby vaccination centers, which could be anywhere from 200 meters to about 2 kilometers. You take a slot, go there, it's absolutely free of cost, and follow all COVID safety protocols nonetheless. I think it's pretty simple.
So, Shivani, there's this one question which has just popped up, and I think I also had this question in my list in order to get this sorted at the beginning itself. So, what if there's a student who's traveling from India, he's completely vaccinated with both the doses? Then is it an absolute necessity that still the student will have to undergo that quarantine period?
Unfortunately, yes, because India's on the red list, and Ashley, I hope the amber list happens at the earliest. And I think that'll be a game changer. There's also a student who said that there is a possibility that the quarantine cost will be increased to 20 to 50 for red list countries to discourage travel. There's lots of gossip and there's lots of rumor in the market. Yeah. Don't have confirmed information. I think we should not kind of listen to this. But yes, even if you're fully vaccinated, as of now, the UK government hasn't opened up the reduction on quarantine from red list countries. So if India does come into amber, then yes, there's flexibility around there. So let's just keep our fingers crossed and send all positive energies to that.
Sounds good, Shivani. So Shruti, majority of the doubts that the students have are pertaining to the different kind of combinations that can be possible. So there are students who have taken the first dose of Covaxin and they don't know whether they should take the next dose of Covaxin and then possibly head to the UK. Then on the other hand, there are students who have taken Covishield and they are yet to take the second dose. So if you can possibly throw some light on that aspect as well.
Sure. I think Shivani just rightly mentioned. Firstly, anyone who is here who's listening, even I got Covaxin. So I think it's totally fine. I think it's just about, as she said, get vaccinated. That's more important. As of now, you're in India, right? And until you're moving to the UK, what my advice personally would be, if you are getting the slots, do get vaccinated. And, you can always get vaccinated in the UK because, most of our international students right now in the UK, and one of our staff members as well, who's working with us for India team, has also got vaccinated. So she's a student right now at NTU. So, it's definitely open to all international students. So if you're waiting, to get that vaccination, that's open. But if you want to get vaccinated in India, that's also okay. So if you've got the first dose, waiting for the second, you can still get the second. Later, you can think of, how what happens in the UK when you arrive. So I would suggest it's good to get vaccinated in India for your own personal safety. We don't know how the vaccinations are going to turn out. You never know what, until few years and what's the kind of effects. But as of now, everybody else is getting vaccinated, and that's most the safest option. So I would suggest get it if you can in India, and then you can have a decision, whether you want in the UK or not, and that is open to you. So that option is anyway open to you. And don't worry about the Covishield, Covaxin anyway. You have the vaccination, you don't have first dose or second dose, you still need to quarantine if India will be remaining on the red list. So that's one thing. So we can't really escape that. Yeah.
Thanks, Shruti. So Davina, once the students are, they receive their offers from these various universities, now the next process is to be visa ready. What I mean to say is that they need to have a checklist with themselves in order to make sure that the visa that they are applying for, they receive it at the earliest. So any tips that you have for these students, because majority of the offer holders would anyway either start applying for the visas or would be in the process of applying for visa. So any tips and tricks for the students to ensure that they receive their visas on time?
Right. Absolutely. Aman, just before I come to your question, I'd just like to add to the previous one, the vaccine one, what we are advising our students. Something that has come up quite frequently is that, a lot of students are worried that, especially for Covishield, if they're vaccinated with one dose and they are unable to get a second dose, then will the UK be allowing to get them the Oxford AstraZeneca one? So what we are advising students is that either get both the doses in India, or you do not get any dose and get vaccinated right in the beginning in the UK itself. If you have been vaccinated quite previously in time, like early on this year, then definitely they'll be eligible for the booster doses, as UK is planning on unveiling them starting September, October onwards. So that option is always there, but we are not encouraging students to do vaccine mixing. If that is allowed, so get either both the doses in India or do not get any doses in India. So that is one thing that we are advising them. Coming to your question regarding CAS and how to be prepared. So I'm not sure about all my colleagues here, but at Liverpool, we have already started. Of course, we have started giving out CASs, but the process can be a bit elongated and delayed for a lot of students who've been waiting, with bated breaths, like when to get and when can we start applying for a visa. So the only thing that we are telling them right now, because it's kind of they're helpless at the moment. So the best thing would be to get your funds ready, and especially the 28-day period that they need to hold their funds static, in their bank accounts. That can already be started. That process can already be started at the moment, so that when the time comes when you get your CAS, you can immediately within the next few days apply for your visa without wasting any time, and that way your process will be smooth and quicker as well. That's the only thing that we are suggesting at the moment, because rest all the formalities and everything are being already done. If you're looking at getting your plane tickets and hotel quarantine bookings and all that also can start, but at least first get your visa process initiated. That's the most important thing.
Okay. Shivani, would you like to touch down upon this question regarding the visa and CAS?
Yeah, so I think the Venus covered most of it, but Brunel, we started issuing CASs from the 7th of June. About 20% of our CAS holders have received their visas. I think UKVI is doing a stellar job at that. And also because tourism is closed, so the pressure on UKVI to kind of transact with these visas is faster. I personally recommend, if anyone's planning to travel to the UK in September, because Brunel requires you, because we're going to teach a lot on campus, so we require you to come to campus no later than 22nd of October, which means the earlier you plan everything, the better it will be. I think University Living's got some great deals with British Airways, and you've got lots of offers available. These offers will not stay in for long, right? So I feel you have a checklist. Every student knows the process, so the faster you do it, the better it is. Now the UK allows you to apply for your student visa 6 months in advance. You can travel to the UK 3 months before. So all of this is there to support them and make their transition smoother. On the other side of it, I've been speaking to students, they've had a delay in their exam results. For example, class 12 exam results haven't still been out. It's so delayed. So they feel they can't apply for their visas yet. So there will be, I think, a bulk load of students who will go last minute, which means there will be a lot of delay and pressure. So I feel if they can complete their balance formalities prior to the result coming out, so that's the only pending thing left, it'll make their process smoother. At Brunel, our CAS issuance is, the same day. So if a student becomes conditional as of today, 5 p.m. UK time today, their CAS will be issued. So they can apply from our side, they can apply for the visa on Monday. So yeah, these are little things, but obviously there's still a lot of planning that the students need to do as far as the results come out. So fingers crossed that everything kind of falls into place for them.
Sure. So Shruti, a lot of the students who have joined us today, so we have close to 160 students who are online, right? So I think a lot of students would be heading to NTU as well. So if you can possibly let them know a bit more about the CAS updates from your end.
Sure. See, in terms of, I think both my colleagues, Zavina and Shivani, have covered in terms of the visa advice and stuff. So now, in terms of CAS, as of now, NTU is having certain delays, I would say, in terms of issuing out CASs. So the ones who have paid and are place confirmed on the portal, a slight delay is still there, so please bear with us. We're trying our best to get this sorted at the earliest, but we'll be there to support you. So if you have any questions, you have the designated emails to reach out to us. But yes, so the CAS would be coming out soon. And see, we also started in the second week of June sending out the CASs. So most of our students have also got visas as well at this point. But I would still suggest, the main thing is, again, as what they said, that prepare your funds. That's the most important thing as of now, because once all the process starts, everybody's going to hurry. And, I think there's going to be a load of them. And then the UKVI might also have certain delays when there's going to be a load of, people applying for visa at that point, especially after the 12th results are going to be announced. So the only advice would be, of course, to prepare your funds, keep yourselves ready with all the other things. You have your agents as well. So, be connected to them and see what they advise as well. Be in touch with your universities. And of course, make sure to utilize all the benefits that university living is also offering. As Shivani said, they're not going to be for long. So you should always catch up with these things. But yes, in terms of otherwise, I think CAS is just going out. It's slightly delayed at the moment, but definitely we'll be there to support. So don't you worry. If you have anything, just reach out to us.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So Davina, still, we are so beyond this question, but still I come across many students who have this question, or rather a debate of, in-person classes versus hybrid classes, right? So if you can possibly touch down upon that and let the students know, how the in-person classes are different from hybrid and what are the pros and cons of each one.
Absolutely, absolutely. So at Liverpool, what we are doing is basically starting September 2021, we'll be looking at a hybrid teaching and learning model. And from that, what we mean is all your large lectures, wherein you have over 70, 80, 100 plus students attending, and where only the professors have to give lectures and students have to simply listen to them, that all will be held online. That can be done from the comfort of your home in your dorms at Liverpool. And all your smaller group projects, your seminars, tutorials, and supervisory meetings, and even smaller group works, they all will be happening on campus face to face. So what the university has now done is that a lot of the common buildings which were used as offices and everyone, they're opening up that spaces for students, for their classes to be held. And a lot of the admin staff has been asked to work from home so that, for the time being, we can have that social distancing in place and all the COVID protocols can be maintained. And there is proper security and that mental assurance that, everything, whatever the university can do from their end to keep everyone safe, both physically and mentally, that will all be there on campus and in place. Besides that, a lot of the students who started later on in the previous year, their classes are still going on, and we can assure you that all face-to-face classes, wherever possible, they have already started. And in order for students to attend those classes, they need to go through the lateral flow COVID test, get a negative result, and only then will they be allowed to enter those classes. So it's not that, a lot of students that I come across when we are doing our events is that, the universities confirmed that this thing last year as well, that as and when things will open, we'll start doing offline classes, but nothing happened in the previous year. But students need to understand that last year there were so many uncertainties. We did not know, nobody knew how to manage or how to tackle the COVID situation. But now majority of the country is vaccinated. And now we are ready, and there are mitigations in place. So we can assure you that there will be some face-to-face classes, face-to-face interactions on campus. So you can rest assured.
Perfect. Sounds good, Davina. So majority of the students that have joined us are heading to either Liverpool, Nottingham, or London. So Shivani, the next question is for you. So if you can possibly let the students know a bit about the various part-time job opportunities that they can look forward to, because a lot of Indian students, especially the postgrad students who are heading to the UK, are more or less interested in exploring these kind of options. So if you can possibly touch down upon that.
Thanks, Aman. I'll try and cover this even on behalf of Shruti and Davina because it'll be fairly similar. As international students, you're allowed to work up to 20 hours per week. For undergraduates, it's recommended you work 15 hours because you're younger and you need to kind of settle into the system in the UK. But postgraduates can work up to 20 hours. Each of our universities will have a career center or a career support service, which will list, part-time jobs that are available on campus as well as off campus. Now, these jobs I feel are very crucial for the overall growth of students. Rather than looking at the type of the job, look at the experience that you will gain out of it. I think a couple
Sure.
of years back, Indian students would always say, "Why should I work at a McDonald's?" And I was like, "Why shouldn't you? Because that's the best place to teach you operations and time management. There's no other better place in the world to teach you that because everything is so structurally designed. You just kind of learn how to work in a supply chain organization, for example." Even at Brunel, I worked part-time on campus in the alumni office when I studied, and this is years back. And I think it really, really enlightened me and it helped me network. And I think that's one of the key factors students should remember because when they will be applying for full-time jobs, the network that they will build while working part-time will surely help. Yes, if you can gather an internship or an apprenticeship or a part-time job relating to your subject, nothing like it. But I've seen Indian students teaching yoga for 20 hours, 20 pounds an hour. I have seen Indian students giving tuitions for maths and biology to school kids. We've had lots of Indian students apply for jobs as ushers at football stadium because that gets them to watch the match completely free of charge, which could be hundreds of pounds. And there's lots of stuff that you could do. Working at restaurants is one thing, working at a coffee shop, working at the library, being a supervisory support service. At Brunel, and I'm sure even at NTU and Liverpool, we have student ambassador schemes where students can sign up as ambassadors and they get fairly well. They get paid around 9 pounds and 60 pence an hour, which is, I think, fantastic. So this not only helps the students in understanding the role of international education in their life and share that as an experience with people from different countries, but also gets them a pretty decent pocket money. But one thing I always, kind of lay stress upon, and with the numbers increasing from India to the UK, do not rely on the part-time job for your living expenses. This was really disheartening and really terrible to see when COVID hit initially. There were these videos where I won't name the cities or the universities, but where kids were didn't have food to eat. They were standing on roads. I don't think that's the agenda. The part-time job should be done for your extra pocket money, for your extra expenses. If you want to travel around, because you can go to Paris in 2 hours, you can reach Amsterdam in 3 hours. Those are for your upscale expenses. And yes, help maybe contribute 20% of your living expenses on a weekly basis, but do not rely on that as, oh, I'm going to get a part-time job and I don't need any money from my mom and dad, or I don't need any savings of myself, or I don't need to have an education loan. Keep that ready, and that is just your extra backup, because when COVID hit and there was the first lockdown, there were no part-time jobs. It was zero.
Yeah.
Now part-time jobs are plenty, available. We hired 2 students as student ambassadors last week. I know someone who's writing, lots of blogs for newspapers in London, and someone's covering a Bengali society. There's lots happening. I mean, I'm sure that's similar for Liverpool or Nottingham as well. Nottingham is such a great student city, so there'll be lots of jobs available there as well. But do not rely on that for your living expenses. I really want to stress on this. Have that ready in your bank account, so that in a rainy day, you're not struggling for food or basics. And if you do get this additional fund, enjoy it, explore, travel, read, go to museums, explore the art, the food, the culture, because you're not only going to the UK to study, but you're also going there for the complete cultural experience. You want to be a global citizen. So you can't be locked up in your room and eating, dal and rice every day, but you want to get out there and explore, let's say, the British pub culture. You want to kind of network, and you need money to do that. So I think that's very important for the young ones or even the postgraduates to remember.
Thanks a lot, Shivani, for covering it so comprehensively. I'm sure that this was quite insightful, not just for the students, but also for the various panelists, including me, just to have this extra information. So Ashley, just wanted to understand that in your current line of work, you not only interact with Indian students, but students across the globe. So overall, when it comes down to the sentiments from Indian students' point of view, these are quite positive. The numbers have massively increased. So just wanted to understand, if there's any resonance with what we are experiencing here in India and what you are experiencing there in the UK in terms of the student sentiments.
Yeah, so we are at the moment, so bookings across most of our properties are really strong. In the last, say, month, we've had a lot more traffic to our website, a lot more inquiries, a lot more physical viewings, a lot more virtual viewings. And so that sentiment is really positive. Prior to that, I think there was a lot of nervousness and a lot of questions still unanswered. But as we're leading up into August, that we're certainly starting to feel that build. So we are absolutely anticipating, the month of August to be extremely busy, more busy than it has ever been. August is a busy month for all of us in this industry, but absolutely August is going to be a very sort of busy month. And we do also think September will also increase in terms of student inquiries, and I think there'll still be students in September still looking for accommodation options. So, which is really great, and in the light of the last couple of years, or 18 months, that's really positive. And it was really nice to hear about Shivani talking about all the opportunities, and we absolutely see that too. So there are a lot of job opportunities in the UK at the moment. Even in our company at the moment, we've got a number of vacancies, and the job market is really strong. So I strongly recommend exactly what was said by Shivani earlier, that get out, enjoy the UK when you do arrive, and make sure that you do engage with any activities that is put on by your accommodation teams as well. So when you do arrive, there'll be lots of stuff that you guys can get involved in, opportunities to meet new people. Shivani talked about just getting a job, and that being a great way to meet new people. But there are other ways too. We put on lots of accommodations. We'll put on activities, whether virtual or physical, depending on what's happening. And we hope mostly physical sort of interactions. And we'll put on a variety of different activities to allow you to meet other people. And there's so many other different nationalities in the UK. I think that's one of the great things about the UK. It's very international. There are lots of different other people and cultures to sort of experience and visit, which is absolutely part of the student experience when you arrive. So a lot of accommodations will really tap into that and give you opportunities to go off and do that when you arrive. But I do highly recommend you do it, because you get the real full experience when you do so.
Perfect. Thanks, Ashley. So guys, the next set of questions and discussion is lined up for the various service providers that we have. So Manik, we can start from you. So almost everyone on the panel has an understanding that how important it is to have a bank account in the country that they are traveling to. So I think you'll be in a better position to tell how HSBC is helping students out open a UK bank account before even they've landed in the UK, and help them avoid the trouble while they are in the UK. So you can go ahead and present the slides that you've prepared for the students, or you can let me know. I can do the same for you.
Yeah, probably you can.
I'll do that.
You can share the presentation, then I'll probably talk about it. And thanks for giving me this opportunity to discuss about the proposition from HSBC as a bank, and probably I would be able to answer most of the questions that the students might be having at this point of time. And obviously, having a account right before you land in the country where you would be studying is a very important thing. So I'll just start off with HSBC in general as a bank, as a culture, and then probably touch upon the kind of services that we provide and the product that we have. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so HSBC is basically one of the world's largest banking and financial services organizations. So we serve more than 40 million customers through our global businesses, which includes wealth and personal banking, commercial banking, and global banking and markets. Our network actually covers almost 66 countries and territories, which are spread across Europe, Asia, Middle East, and Africa, obviously North America and Latin America. So overseas education program from HSBC is an initiative that provides a complete ecosystem for helping the child as well as the student realize his or her international education dreams. And we basically try to be there at all the stages of the child's journey, which starts from the course planning to graduation. And by that, what we mean is that we also provide a scholarship program that happens almost on a yearly basis, wherein we provide an assistance of almost like 10,000 USD. But that keeps on going on an annual basis, and the scholarship is awarded to the three most deserving winners, and that happens time and time. So we can probably touch upon that. So as an international bank which has a presence in almost like 66 countries worldwide, uh, we do also have a significant presence in India, and we also tend to provide all sort of services to the students before even they land in UK per se, for this example. And so apart from the unmatched international presence that we have, we also offer the convenience of initiating the account, which is fully operationalized even before the students leave India. And this includes delivery of the credit cards, debit cards, checkbooks, and setting up their phone banking and internet banking and mobile banking facilities. Yep. HSBC also helps to initiate your overseas account opening before arrival in UK, and our dedicated team will also assist you with opening up a non-resident account in India as well as local account overseas. The local and the overseas account operating journey will start while you are still in India for smooth transition. There would be no service charges for international account opening, and we do have a specific team which is known as the International Banking Center (IBC), which helps us out doing the documentation work for UK and getting the compliance thing done and setting up the account while you are in India as well. And basically the first and the foremost feature for this would be that the students, the international students, will not have to keep any kind of balances in their accounts. It's going to be a zero balance account for all the overseas students till the time they are students in UK. And post that, they obviously can choose the different kind of options that we have in UK as an account, which can be transferred, or either you can keep it as it is. Okay. Many utility and phone companies as well as employers will require your child in terms of the thing that we're discussing about right now was the bank account. Everything will be ready for you even before you arrive, and parent and the students can manage the worldwide HSBC accounts even with the single log on. So what I mean by that is that the parent will also have a complete know-how of the account that the student is holding on, and they can do it with a feature which is known as the global view and global transfer services, which is GVGT. So you don't even have to make any kind of fee for the remittances that you will be doing, and that is going to be completely free of cost. And on top of that, if you opt for a premier account, I'll touch upon that in the slides that we have. So that premier account also gives you the advantage of having no remittance charges, and the transition charges or the remittance charges would be very minimal. It can be as low as 15 to 20 paisa per pound, depending upon the amount that the parent is transferring. We also support supplementary debit and credit cards from India with worldwide acceptance for children to use upon arrival in foreign countries. And all the international students are also supported with 24/7 support via the first in HSBC International Specialist Center to overseas Indian students only, and for their HSBC accounts around the globe. So even if you after your graduation or post-graduation tend to move out of UK to any other country, still you will also have the access to this support center for any kind of banking needs. Yes. So basically, the way I touched upon, if I have to get into HSBC UK specifically, HSBC UK has the densest network of branches and ATMs in UK and Northern Ireland also, which makes us the industry leader in providing end-to-end banking solutions to all entities. UK being the most sought after destination for international students, specifically from India, does also demand a holistic approach in providing student-focused banking solutions. So what I would mean by that is that you will get the preferential forex rates, you will get the overdraft facility, the 24/7 customer support, hassle-free banking, no monthly account fees, and you can just do a single tap and make the payments for in and around UK. There's not going to be any kind of a charge. And also in some of the cases, depending upon the selective criteria, we can also offer you a credit card which can be given to you even if you don't have an existing credit card history, which typically is the case with the undergrad students. So this is more or less what it is in brief as the kind of proposition that we have, but we would certainly be happy to take one-on-one discussions with the students typically when they've applied for the visas. If you have any kind of a query regarding the balance maintenance, is there anything of that sort, then probably we can have a one-on-one discussion that probably would solve all the queries that you have. Yeah, thanks, man.
Perfect, perfect. Thank you so much, Manik. So guys, there's a technical glitch from my side, so I'll try and join back. In the meanwhile, if you have any questions to the universities or Manik, you can please go ahead and share the same. And once I'm back, we can have a small presentation on British Airways as well. Sorry, Aparna, I'll have to keep you waiting for another 2 to 3 minutes, but I'll join back really soon.
No issue at all, Aman. Waiting.
Yeah. So in the meanwhile, if you guys have any questions to any of the panelists, please try and fill it in your chat box, and I'll be back with the presentation that British Airways need to share. Aparna, is there a possibility that you can share the presentation from your end? I think the host needs to share the rights with you, right?
Yes, as far as I understand, it has to be you sharing it. Are you able to open it, Aman?
I'll have to check once.
All right.
Can you give me like 2 to 3 minutes? I'll just try and rectify it from my end.
Sure.
Aman, why don't you make Aparna the co-host, and then she should be able to.
Yeah. So the thing
that'll be
is that,
fast.
yeah. I cannot see my screen right now.
Oh,
So I just connected it with my desktop, and that's where the camera is. So I cannot see what's happening exactly. So in the meanwhile, if you guys can answer the questions that the students have, that's something that would be really helpful. And I'll try and log back in from a different laptop.
Sure, Aman.
Yeah.
Sure,
Thank you so much.
Thank
Sorry
you.
for the trouble.
No problem.
Manik, I think there was a specific question for you. Maybe, since you gave the presentation, I think Ahmed asked, need help with an HSBC account, please shed light on this. And I think there was, Saad, if you have
yeah, I can see the chat. I'm just checking out the question.
Sure.
Yeah. Even some Jay Bhola has it for you for HSBC, account opening process and credit card for PGT. So there are something that way. A lot of
so the
questions from
account
Manik.
opening process, I can, sure. I can, I'll try to figure out the questions. Just to iterate on the account opening process. So what we typically do is that we advise the students and the parent to open up a India account as well, so that the main reason of you opening up an account would be to send the money to UK, right, for your tuition. And that can only be done through the remittance part. And the remittance cost is the main cost that the parents specifically will have to bear. And what we typically tend to do is that, because HSBC being a global brand and obviously UK being our home country, so the remittance becomes almost free of cost. That's why we ask or advise the students as well as the parent to open up an India account as well as the UK account. So the India account can be done through our virtual journey as well, wherein you don't even need to go to the branch or meet any of our representative. But obviously we are present in almost all the major cities in India. And I personally being available in Delhi, I have a team of around 6 to 7 relationship managers, which can help you out with the documentation and the process. Even if you need some kind of help when you need to have a face-to-face discussion, you can also have a visit planned for your home, as well as in the 3 to 4 branches that we have in Delhi NCR. Apart from that, the UK journey can also be done online, even if you are still in India. By that, what I mean is that we will just require your university acceptance letter, the visa application, and with that only, we will initiate the process of opening up the account in accordance with the HSBC UK team. And accordingly, within like 4 to 5 odd working days, if everything is like crystal clear, the documentation are there, and with that process itself, we can open up the UK account. And if still you give us some heads up before you are planning to go to UK, we would also make sure that the debit card is delivered to you in India itself, so that you don't even need to go to the UK branches, because obviously I can understand by now that there is a restriction of the quarantine thing, and obviously your parents would also not want you to go to the UK branches in this time. And so that's more or less about the process part, I think. So I'll also drop in my details, the phone number as well as the email address, if you have any kind of a specific query, because I know for a fact that once we start talking to the students or the parents, then the questions would be very different, and obviously I'll have to do it on a customized kind of a basis. But that is more or less the kind of process that we have. I'll be happy to take the individual discussions as well, maybe post this session or whenever you guys are free. I'll just try to see if I can all questions.
There was one question for you, Manik, where they asked about the HSBC, the minimum amount deposit. Because one student had a call from HSBC that it was 60,000 that was needed, so they wanted to know more about that.
For we specifically have a students program, so for the students, there's not going to be any kind of a balance maintenance. I can also see what is the cost to open up the HSBC account. There is no cost involved to it. Yeah. So basically, we do have. I'm not sure if you're able to see the presentation. If you're able to see the second slide, okay. Nonetheless, yeah. So we do have 3 different kind of propositions. One is the premier proposition. The second one is the personal banking option. If we advise the parents to have a premier relationship with us, what it means is that you will have all sort of services free of cost for you, and the parents also become a family proposition in this regard. So if at all the parents have to maintain a certain kind of balance in the premier proposition, that has to be maintained only in one account, but the entire family will get the benefit of the premier proposition all over the world. No matter if you are in UK, you are in US, or in any other country per se where we have a presence. So what it means is that you will have the best of the remittance rates that we can assure of. You will have all these kind of services wherein the debit cards or the credit cards are being delivered to you even if you're not in the host country. You will also have the option of 24/7 customer care services. You will also have a dedicated relationship manager assigned to you who will help you out with a personalized service of helping you out with any kind of difficulty if you're facing. And more or less what we have done right now is that specifically after this pandemic, we have made all sort of services that we provide virtual. So you typically won't even have to like go and see any kind of the branch or the ATM. Probably the only time we'll have to see an HSBC brand would be when you will have to like go into the ATM and fetch some money for you. So that's probably it. The cost is not associated with the bank account. It's typically the kind of account that you hold. Still, I would advise all of you for these kind of queries, you can contact me directly. Then probably depending upon your financial requirements, I could advise you the product. Otherwise, it would feel like a normal conversation that we are doing. It won't be like helping you out with a proper solution that I would deem fit for you or for your parents. Yeah, I'll see other questions.
Yeah, I think everyone's looking for your contact details now.
Yeah, sure. I'll just drop in the contact details.
Aparna, if you're around, I saw one student said that they had booked their ticket with British Airways yesterday, but forgot to apply a student discount. Is there something possible for them?
Hi, Shivani.
Hi.
So they've already booked the ticket. Ideally, the discount has to be availed of at the time when they're purchasing the ticket.
Hi.
Having said that, I will also be leaving my details and they can be in touch and we will see what we can do about that.
Sounds good, I think.
So Aparna, I'll just share the presentation and then you can possibly let the students know how exactly British Airways has planned to help the students out and what exactly is the discount that they can avail if they book it to university.
Sure.
Give me another 15 minutes.
Sure. In the meantime, I saw a question from a student saying how to avail of the British Airways discount. So we do not have a student offer in place in the market for this year, but the only one we do have it with is with University Living. So we have a partnership with them whereby you can avail of it. And we will be sharing the link during the presentation. And Aman will be able to share it with you separately as well.
Yeah. So I hope you are able to hear me.
Yes, Aman.
Yes, Aman,
Able
you're
to hear
audible.
you. Absolutely.
If you want to mute your other system because your voice is echoing since you're maybe in the same room.
Certainly. Guys, I would need another minute, so if you can take any other question, then that would be wonderful.
Yeah, in the interim, I'll just say one thing. I can see a lot many questions being addressed to us at HSBC. I have dropped in my email address as well as my number. Probably if I'm not able to answer all of these questions right now, you can anytime drop me a text or send me an email as a one-liner. Then I'll arrange a call back or I'll personally call you guys back. Then we could discuss it personally and probably I'll be able to answer all of these questions.
Just a second. So Aparna, in the meanwhile, just a second. Can you let the students know about the British Airways, how they can book the tickets and the various questions that they might have?
Sure. I can start talking through that. I was saving the best for the last. We can start with that. So firstly, thank you so very much. Thank you to Aman and University Living for giving us this opportunity. And thank you also to all the panelists. The discussion has been absolutely fantastic. I've enjoyed it because we're not just partners with University Living. I also have two children who are both going to university in August. So it's been excellent information. So thank you so very much. And I think all students would share that. It's stuff we need to know before the children travel out. So for all the students who are gathered here today, the presentation, which Aman should be able to get up and running in a bit, will give you a bit of information about, I guess, a lot of information you already got from the other panelists. My presentation would talk more specifically about the travel experience, what all we've got on ground while you're in the air. Also, in terms of discounts that we've offered, we are partners with University Living. There is a 10% discount to all students. You need to be able to have your I-20 form with you to be able to avail of that. The discounts are available online. That's why when somebody was asking earlier that they've already purchased their ticket. So this is through a special code that we do, especially for university living. And I'll try and see what we can do for a ticket that's already bought. Otherwise, it's discounts available only for university living. Anybody who books through their URL, which we'll be sharing in a minute. In terms of the baggage, the biggest question we get from everybody is the baggage. So it is 2 pieces. Earlier, the baggage allowance to UK was 1 piece. We've now increased it to 2 pieces. In addition, the hand luggage that you get, you can have it up to 23 kilos. This is the only carrier where even your hand luggage can be 23 kilos, which is the weight for your actual checked in luggage. So long as the measurements, the dimensions of the baggage remain a cabin baggage, you can actually carry up to 23 kilos in it. And before I started working in the corporate head office, I used to work at the airport. And I have actually seen students managing to fit in 23 kilos. I guess the books, etc., that you carry weigh a ton. So you get the added advantage of being able to utilize even the cabin baggage for as much as 23 kilos. In addition, you get a hand baggage. The hand baggage dimensions are much smaller, but again, the weight allowance is 23 kilos. So all in all, you're allowed 1 hand luggage, 1 cabin baggage, and 2 checked in pieces. And all of them can be up to 23 kilos. The criteria for the hand baggage and the cabin baggage is that you should be able to carry it on your own. You shouldn't be needing help with somebody to put it in the overhead bin. And also that it should match the dimensions. In the presentation at the end, I've given a slide which talks about what the dimensions are so that it's easy reference. And there is a link on how you can book, how you can avail of the discounts as well. I will pause here for Aman in case he's been able to get the video going. I'll continue taking questions. I can see somebody's asking the baggage allowance. Would it be the same even for domestic flights? So if you're going to book a through ticket, if you're booking through all the way till your final destination, then yes, you do get the baggage allowance, the benefit of the baggage allowance.
Yeah, Aparna. So finally,
super. Thank you. Thank you, Aman. And we begin with a video, so I shall let you play that.
Okay. So can we play the video towards the end?
Okay, sure. Though if you just clicked on the slide, it plays on its own. When you go onto the slide just before this, the video will play when you press the play button. I've got it. It's not a link. The video is actually uploaded in the presentation.
Just a second. So you can begin with this. I'll try and figure out the video.
All right. If you just went on the first slide and hover above it, it'll have a play button. I thought it's simpler than giving you a link to play. So just go on the first page. If you can just go to the slide before this one, please.
Yeah. No, it's not happening. I'll figure that out. You can continue.
All right. All right. I will. Then I'll continue. So we are talking, the first slide I wanted to talk about is our current schedule from India. Earlier, we had 57 flights a week. And now, unfortunately, we are restricted to a total of 15 flights between all carriers. So the number of flights that we are talking about per airline gets drastically reduced. Aman, if you can just go to the next slide, which shares the schedule.
Sure.
The schedule is reviewed every fortnight by the DGCA. So every fortnight, we have to take permission for how many flights we can operate the next fortnight. Having said that, because the month of August is for student travel, and we didn't want you to have any uncertainty, because earlier what would happen is if you would book for outside of a fortnight, the flights could have been cancelled or changed. But now the advantage is that whatever schedule is printed for the month of August stands. So there'll be no change in that. What that schedule looks like, we have 2 flights from Mumbai, 2 from Delhi, 2, and the interesting part is when we say Mumbai and Delhi, it's 2 and 3, and then it swaps the following week. So it'll be 2 flights and 3 flights, and then the other way around. And Bangalore and Hyderabad is 2 and 3 times respectively. Currently, we're not flying out of Chennai. Hopefully, we're able to start. We'll know only later. So we don't have information on this yet. We are really lobbying for it. We want to be able to fly out of all the gateways. I saw a question coming in about Kolkata. British Airways history is that we started flying into India with Calcutta, but it's a pity that we don't fly out of Calcutta currently. So again, if something changes, we will keep you posted. But currently, these are the 4 cities that we are flying out of, and hopefully Chennai soon. The red light system, the traffic light system, who would have thought we would be talking about airlines and travel to different countries on this basis? If you can just focus on the last column, because currently India is on the red list. Again, what we've been told is no change for the month of August. If there will be any change, it will be reviewed, will only be with effect from September. So if your travel is in August, I would say you need to be able to focus on this. You would need to complete, so I'm going to talk you through the extreme left-hand side. It says complete a passenger locator form within 48 hours of arrival. You could even do this before you start your journey. What this essentially is that in the unlikely event that if you or somebody you're traveling with did come down with COVID, it asks you to list down your contacts and who to be contacted and other details about you. So complete a passenger locator form within 48 hours. A pre-departure test at destination within 72 hours of arrival, and a mandatory PCR test on day 2. I think all this has already been covered in the previous conversation with the panelists. If you could go to the next slide, Aman. We have I won't spend time on this slide. What it basically talks about is we have quite a few partners which are offering us various discounts. This is for, again, testing purposes. If you wanted to avail of it, this presentation will be with Aman and he'll be able to share with you. Having said that, the quarantine package that you get does include the testing, which I think, again, has been touched upon by the university speakers. Here, I'll ask you to look at the second column, which is validate via manage my booking on ba.com. India is one of the countries where you can upload all your certificates and your vaccination, all the details already before you start your journey on ba.com. Where to find more information? It is on britishairways.com/entry requirements. All the latest updated information is there. Once again, what I'd like to reiterate, it's a very fluid situation, and sometimes you'll find that the rules and regulations are changing frequently. Though as of now, we do not expect any changes for the month of August, which is going to be predominantly when all of you would be flying, and the start of September. This is what I was talking about, the baggage allowance. Before that, right on top, you can see the University Living Special Offer. It's www.ba.com with a /UL offer. So you could type this in your browser and you will be able to avail of the special discount that we have with University Living. As I mentioned, we currently do not have a student offer. We are in talks to be able to launch a student offer. It would only match what we already have with University Living. So I'm very proud to say that currently the only discount students can get is through University Living. And Aman, at this point, I also want to thank you for having connected us. And it's interesting to be able to talk to all the students, to be able to address all of you. The baggage bit I had covered already, so I'm not going into it again. The baggage allowance itself, like I mentioned, is 2 pieces for check-in up to 23 kilos. And in hand baggage, you can have basically a handbag and a cabin baggage also up to 23 kilos. And this becomes the biggest one. The students were asking, I could see some questions earlier, that will the baggage allowance stand for onward journeys? So if you have bought an onward ticket, then yes, it will hold true, even though you will be breaking journey for the quarantine in your first port of arrival. Aman, in case you're able to play the videos, if not, then we'll just carry on and take any questions.
Certainly, I'll just handle that.
Okay.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
The sound isn't playing.
Sorry?
There's no sound on the video. We can only hear you.
Okay. I think that can be a little tricky. But anyway, I'll just play the video. It's just a minute-long video. So I think that can be taken care of.
Wait, if you start from the beginning, then I'll just play it on my end too, and maybe the sound can come from my end.
Sure.
We all have something that makes us fly. And for us, it's you. As the world opens up once more, we're ready to get you flying to the people and places we all miss. Our family.
Aparna, I think we can skip the video. It can be really tricky. Thank you so much for joining in. And we can have more discussion regarding British Airways and HSBC and the university representatives in the later half of our event. So now, guys, we have Swastik from Team Matrix. So they have 3 to 4 different products which can definitely help you out, ranging from a Forex card to a SIM card, as well as travel insurance. So Swastik, if you're there, I can share the presentation and you can take it forward from there.
Hi, Aman. Thank you very much for having me. Hi, Aman. Can you hear me?
Yes. We can hear you.
Yeah.
I'll just
thank you
share the
for having me.
Yeah. I'll share the presentation now.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, are you able to see the presentation?
Yeah, Aman.
Perfect.
So you have opened the, no, you can open that other slide which I sent to you. This is the plan copy.
Just a second. Okay, I'll do that.
So before that, just let me start.
Yeah. You can give an introduction of yourself and then take it forward from there.
Yeah, dear esteemed audience, good afternoon. So this is Swastik. I actually look up to student business in Met. So hope you all are doing good and having a great session till now. So in Matrix, most of us heard about Matrix. So we started our operation in 1995, our largest country-specific SIM card operator, providing voice and data solutions to the travelers traveling abroad from India. But allocated travel insurance and foreign exchange to the wide audience also, who are traveling either for business, leisure, or study purpose. So mostly we cater to 85% of the travel segment, either through business travel or leisure or for study purpose, who are traveling from India and from Thailand also. So we mostly offer student SIM cards and our travel medical insurance through Allowance partners and foreign exchange. So let me give a brief idea about the student SIM card. So mostly the SIM cards which we provide either UK, USA or Canada, those are country-specific SIM cards. We have a tie-up with the local superior operator which will be having the best coverage, and the rates which we offer are based in the market, even if you will not get that rate in the local market in those countries. And another thing in our SIM card is you will get it activated before your trip starts, and you can distribute your number to all your friends or family and circles to whom you want to distribute your number. And there is no contractual obligation from our end till the period you want to continue with that number. You can easily do that. You can easily recharge that number from the website or from our application, and we don't need any credit history to issue a SIM card. Secondly, also you can customize your plans with us as per your requirement so that your usage can be catered. And coming to our medical insurance and travel insurance policy, so it will be partnered with Allianz. Actually, they are providing you worldwide medical cover ranging from 50,000 to 10 lakh USD, and will not have any proper work medical test. So this policy will also cover your COVID treatment up to the insured amount. Then Allianz partners will also give you 24/7 medical emergency assistance. if any students wants to add pre-existing diseases like screening, HIV, AIDS, or any maternity related things, they can also add in that policy with certain additional premium. Now coming back to the forex part, so in normally in forex we deal in currency also, in forex card also, and in remittances also. So mostly all these facilities will be provided to you at your doorstep. The rates which we provide are based in the market, and the card loading rates and card loading that it's normally 2 to 4 hours. So within the same day you can expect the card loading and the remittances from our side if you do it in time with the proper KYC. And everything is hassle free. You can just connect to me or connect anyone from university living with the request for the card loading or remittances. We'll get it done for you. And once you are in your destination country, so you can also easily request for the card reload through yourself also, through your parents also, and we'll get it done. And there is no such hassles in the documentation, but those are all normal documents like your passport, ticket, visa, and the travel copy. So mostly all those things will be hassle free, and you can have a 24/7 support from our side. Aman, that's
Perfect.
the
Yeah. So guys, just to add on to what Swastik has just said, so as we have tied up with Matrix, and we can offer some sort of discount on the travel insurance as well as on the SIM card plans that you can explore. And rest, you can get in touch with us and we can help you out with the best travel insurance, student SIM card, or Forex card that you might need help with. You can skip this because since this is not required. Yeah.
True.
So that's pretty much it. Thank you so much, Swastik. So
thank you, Aman. Thank you for having me.
So now if you have questions for a panelist, be it any panelist, you can feel free to share and we'll be more than happy to clarify your questions. And I apologize for the technical glitch that you had to go through.
No problem.
So just wanted to check with the panelists whether they have been answering the questions on the text.
Yes. We did for some, I guess, but I'm sure there might be a lot which might have been missed, but we hope to get back to them somehow. So if they haven't been able to get a response yet.
Perfect. So Aparna, I think there's a question for you, a very specific question from Abhilash Bajaj. Are you there?
Yeah. I am there, please.
So hi Aparna, my flight would be from Delhi to Glasgow via London. Yeah.
Yes. So you need to quarantine at the first point of entry into the UK. So it will be London. There are no confusion there. The first port of entry, you have to quarantine. If you flew directly into Birmingham, then it would be Birmingham, Glasgow, wherever. So your flight into London means you'll have to quarantine in London. Another thing I'd like to point out, the day you land is not counted. The day you land is known as day 0. And the quarantine actually begins from the next day. And you have to quarantine for a period of 10 days and you can travel out after that.
So the next question we have for Manik. So Manik, there's an NRI student from Saudi Arabia. So can they open a bank account in the UK if they reside in Saudi Arabia at the moment? Manik is not here. So we have questions. So the questions are on both chat as well as Q&A sessions. That's getting a bit confusing. So Shivani, I think I came across a question regarding the quarantine reimbursement. So the student has a doubt whether it will be reimbursed or it will be adjusted in the fee. So if you can take that up.
It will be reimbursed to a UK bank account.
Aparna, are there flights directly from Mumbai to Birmingham?
No, our flights are into London, and then you need to quarantine in London and then go onward. Aman, if I may take the opportunity to answer something else, I can see quite a few questions being asked about the baggage allowance. So if you're traveling onwards, wherever it may be within the UK, you still get the advantage of the 2-piece, even if you're breaking journey in London, because it's a forced quarantine. You have to break your journey for that quarantine period. So you're able to have your advantage of the baggage allowance. So even if you'll travel after 11 days, you'll still get the 2PC.
And all the students asking regarding the coupon codes and everything that you required in order to access the various offers, we will be emailing that to you. So you don't need to worry about that.
And
So,
Aman, you'll be able to
yeah.
share the link for the bookings as well, right?
Sure, I'll do that. So actually, there's a question regarding the accommodation aspect regarding the cancellation policies, because obviously there's some sort of uncertainty still there. So what are the cancellation policies that are applicable?
So obviously, depending on your accommodation provider, there will be a variety of different cancellation policies. So some accommodation providers will provide an extension to their original cancellation policy around booking accommodation. So if you are impacted by COVID-19 in terms of your travel, or you decide not to take your course up in semester 1. I know a lot of students are also arriving in semester 2 as an example. There's lots of different situations and circumstances, but some accommodation providers will provide you an extension of the cancellation policy up until a date in August. So collegiate, AC as an example, students can cancel without any financial impact up until the 23rd of August. And then we will then look at anything on a case-by-case basis after that date. But I must stress, every university and provider will do something slightly different. But the vast majority in the UK are looking to ensure as much flexibility as possible, because we do appreciate that, you know, traveling to the UK is a little bit more difficult at the moment. So my advice is to get in touch, possibly through your university living agent, or you can come direct to the accommodation provider if you've already had confirmation of your tenancy agreement, and we'll be able to ask tell you very specifically exactly what you need to do if you've got any concerns around your tenancy agreement.
Okay.
In addition to that as well, so I did see a couple of questions around deferring the start date of your tenancy agreement. So a lot of providers will allow that if you can provide evidence that for example, your travel has been disrupted due to COVID-19. Again, my recommendation is to contact the accommodation provider directly or via your university living agent and ask for the very specific information around that. And most accommodation providers will look to provide as much flexibility as possible with your arrival.
Certainly, and I can vouch for the same, because last year also, when the situation was even more difficult, you know, all the stakeholders in the industry, be it universities, accommodation providers, everyone was very helpful in terms of adjusting to the students' requirements and making sure that their stay and their arrival is as smooth as possible. So yeah. And one question towards the various universities that we have on the panel. So what would be the process if anyone wants to defer it to the January intake? First of all, would there be a January intake for University of Liverpool, NTU, Brunel? And then if the answer is yes, then what's the process of doing that?
So for Nottingham Trent, basically, yes, you have a Jan intake. It's only for selected courses. So the link I can share with you as well, but it's given on the website. So if you have that course and you want to defer, so you just need to email us on email to either of us from our India team and mention the details, which course is it, and we'll request for the defer. And it takes about 1 to 2 weeks for the deferral to take place. So yeah, that option is there, but only for selected courses. So that I'll just share the link as well so that students can see if they want to defer, if the course follows under the Jan list as well.
Unfortunately for Liverpool, we don't have a January intake. We only have a February intake actually, but just for 3 engineering courses, that's it. Otherwise, if you're deferring your offer for this year, that means you'll be coming to Liverpool in the September of 2022. And the process is very much the same. You'll have to request a deferral form, and our admissions team will be sending the same to you. And only once you have completely filled it and returned to us will it be official that your offer has been deferred.
Just quickly add, yeah, thanks, Aman. Yes, so Brunel does have a January intake. It's for a handful of courses, around about 10 to 12, primarily in the business school and a few engineering management programs. The deferral process is fairly simple. All you do is email us or let your agents know, and they can email us, and we will defer the offer to you for the next available intake, which is either Jan 2022 or September 2021. I think there was another question. I'm just going to cover it up quickly, is regarding refund policy for Brunel. So if in case at all you feel you're scared to travel or unable to travel due to COVID or due to a visa refusal, there's a 100% refund policy from us. So your money is safe and secure.
But Shivani, honestly speaking, the visa refusal rate for the UK is less than 2%. So, yeah.
Well, you'll be surprised, Aman. There's a mixed feedback there. Some universities, like I said, I will never take names. Their visa refusal rate from India was as high as 17% in January 2022. So this is something which there's lots of concerns that UKVI has raised, relating to things like MOIs, credibility interviews, certain regions such as Haryana, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, Punjab, Gujarat. So not everyone is in a similar boat. Brunel's average refusal rate from India is less than 1%. I'm not sure about colleagues from NTU and Liverpool, but I think still we should always be on the lookout that in case there's a visa refusal, their money is safe and secure in terms of 100% refund.
So Shruti, would you like to touch down upon this?
Yeah, sure. I think, no, I agree with Shivani. So basically, in terms of refund, if you talk about, yeah, we also give 100% refund, although the process of refund is slightly longer. So again, you students will need to complete a refund form, send it to us, and then it will take about 2 to 3 months time as well, depending on what time of the month you're sending us, because during this particular time, it's one of the busiest times with admissions. But yes, in terms of visa refusal as well, Shivani said, NTU doesn't really have much problems, except now that the UKVI is very much concerned about Telangana and especially Punjab area. So a lot of, IELTS waivers that even we used to give, we have stopped giving it to many from the region. So we do give it only certain state boards. So, those are the things that have been made changed. But I think that's for the good, because it's important to keep the quality in check as well. So as long as students are applying via agents, following their advice, and, can, give good interviews at times. And I'm sure there are a lot of pre-credibility interviews, although NTU doesn't have one for the CAS interview, but agents do it from their end. So I think that should solve the problem. So, yeah.
Perfect. So Aparna, there's a specific question for you, if you can take that up. It's being asked by Anubhav. Can you see that?
No, could you just read it out?
Sure. So if I book my ticket from Delhi to Glasgow, which says via LHR, so my question is, the first touch point at LHR and post quarantine period, can my ticket, which is already booked up to Glasgow, will get extended? And can I travel on the 11th day with the same ticket to Glasgow?
Yes. What I'm understanding is he's already booked the through ticket, and without a stopover, that can be changed without any cost to include the stopover. 11 days, and he'll get the benefit of the baggage allowance.
Perfect.
I saw somebody had asked about Nottingham. Nottingham is, you need to take a train. You can either take a train from London itself, it's about 95 miles, or from Manchester. Manchester is about 50 miles.
Or Birmingham is also one of the closest airports, if you want to take a taxi as well.
Yeah. I wasn't saying Birmingham because we don't fly to Birmingham.
Right, okay. Sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Perfect. So I had seen a lot of questions regarding the commutation, whether the universities would be providing a meet and greet and anything of that sort. So the universities, would you like to touch down upon that as well?
Right. So in terms of NTU, yes, there will be an event. a meet and greet probably in Nottingham once you arrive. We do anyway always I mean, since last year I think we had a delay in doing that because of the COVID, so we had to postpone, but we always have an event for our Indian students. So once they arrive, we have a meet and greet even at the airport. So we do airport pickup services for students on certain dates. Now that is also going to be soon out on our website, probably next week or so. So early August, the details should be there about where we're flying from, where we, giving you assistance in terms of the pickup, how after quarantine we're going to. So all those details will soon be coming out in August. But yes, just keep an eye on your emails and on your, all the social media channels, because we do keep posting them if information is available, and on our website. That is what I can say, because it's still a little early to kind of give that guidance from our end as of now. So it'll be August, early August is what I can say.
Sure. Ravina?
Same thing for University of Liverpool as well. We are under talks as to how to manage the airport pickup facilities and meet and greet services. Until pre-COVID times, we used to provide the facilities from Manchester Airport only. But since Manchester Airport is not welcoming people from red list countries, so hence the delay in taking a decision as to which airports, like whether Birmingham or London or even both, how we'll be managing it. So same from our end as well. Somewhere around early to mid-August is when you can check our website and all our social media handles as to what all services will be provided.
Shivani?
Quickly, so we're based in London, so we don't need the meet and greet service. Fortunately, you can hop onto a taxi after your quarantine is over and get to Brunel in averagely about 15-20 minutes from a airport close to Heathrow. Lots of activities been planned for Freshers Week. Lots of it will be available online, and lots of it will be face to face. So just in the month of end of June, we had this big campus catch up where there were averagely about 100 students every day on campus in groups playing things like beer pong, having food fests, trying just to get the campus life. So the vibe is on. Obviously, safety protocols are a must, and that is something we're focusing on. I think, like the Veena had mentioned in the beginning, you can take up a free COVID test on campus if you feel, you're asymptomatic, or just to feel sure. There's lots of support from accommodation, even for Amber. So if India comes into Amber, though I think Aparna just burst our bubble, saying that it's not going to happen in August, so it's going to only may happen in September. But if it does, then there's lots of, efforts from the accommodation available on campus, as well as the providers like Ashley, who's here. So there's lots of checks to make sure students are feeling safe and secure, because during this time, loneliness can really eat you up. And I think it's important for them to feel the importance of being in a foreign country, maybe for the first time, but feeling at home. So there'll be lots of stuff happening. You can book the orientation. It'll be end of September. It'll be available to book on the website completely free of charge in the month of August.
Okay. So I think we've tried taking up majority of the questions. So guys, whatever questions that were unanswered, you can, email us, and I'll try and reach out to the concerned set of panelists that we have, and we'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. So it's been a wonderful pleasure hosting all of you. So before signing off, if all the panelists could, possibly share their ending bit, and then we can sign off from the session. So Aparna, would you like to start?
Firstly, I again want to say thank you to you for this wonderful opportunity, and it's been a fantastic learning. Thank you to all the panelists. I really enjoyed this. As I shared earlier, I'm a parent with 2 students going, so fantastic information. Thank you for that. And you've got my contact details, Aman. Please feel free to share that onwards. And I look forward to a lot of students booking on this offer. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Aparna. Shruti?
Sorry. Yeah, thank you. So firstly, thank you to University Living again, and also all the panelists. I think, Parna is correct. We also got to learn a lot, the other side of, things. And I'm sure all students would have gained a lot of information as well. And just, last tip for the students, just don't worry. I know this is a time where everybody is scared and anxious, and, they want to come on to the university, and you will definitely just be patient. And I think get yourself vaccinated in India if you're already already done with one dose, and just relax. And I'm sure the university is there to support, and your agents are there, University Living is there, so everybody is there helping out and trying to do their bit. So yeah, I think all the very best, and yeah, we'll hopefully see you there and enjoying this September. So yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Shruti. Ashley?
Yeah, just again say thank you for inviting me, Ayman. It's been really insightful seeing and listening to all the panelists. I guess just for me is just you will start to receive lots of information, particularly from accommodation providers between now up to your arrival. So please keep a lookout for that in your emails, and there'll be lots of really useful information in there around what to do when you arrive, what activities are on, what you can get engaged in. There'll be information on COVID-19. There'll be a lot there. So please make sure that you read that and then just get involved. Enjoy your first month in the UK.
Perfect. Davina?
Hi, thank you so much again, to University Living and to all the panelists for providing this opportunity and for this wonderful discussion. I think my parting tip to everyone, all the students who are here, would be that, this is a time where you all are anxious and even nervous as well, excited and everything, like a mix of emotions. So the best thing right now would be to just keep calm. Keep an eye on your emails, also specifically your spam, junk mails as well, because sometimes it does happen that, all the important notifications go on those inboxes as well. So be up to date with your contact details and your inboxes. And besides that, try and be as prepared as possible, but don't overdo it at the moment, at the same time, because sometimes when you're just too much, you tend to get deviated from what actually needs understanding and what needs action. So just prepare a checklist as to what is left, what you have already done, and divide it month-wise. And all your whichever university you're going to, the teams that are in India and also in the respective cities in the UK, they're all there to support you. There may be slight delays, but please bear with us. It's a difficult time. It's an unusual time for every one of us, and how we are working and how we are carrying out our services. So just bear with us, and we will be there to support you. And there's plenty of time still. Even if you are getting a delayed visa, there is still time for you to arrive in the UK within the start period of your classes. So that's it. Thank you so much, and all the best.
Thanks, Davina. Swastik, any last minute tips for students who will be heading to the UK?
Yeah, thank you so much, Aman, for inviting me, and thanks to University Living and to all my co-panelists. So it's been a very learning session for me also. So just my one advice to the students will be, just don't worry so much. So we are all there to take care of you, and we'll take care of all the services that you need. So you just keep yourself calm and composed.
Perfect. Thank you, Swastik. So last but not the least, Shivani.
Thanks, Aman. I think, yeah, I feel a part of your family on doing these webinars. I think I've done countless ones with you in the last 1 year. But yes, I think all my wonderful colleagues have covered most of the stuff, and I'll leave it on the last note. Guys, please don't forget to have fun. This is a life-changing experience for all of you. This time that you will spend in the UK, believe you me when I say it, it'll never come back. So have a great time, be safe, be secure, but enjoy yourself. You've got great support from universities, from our partners, from airlines, from accommodation. I mean, you name it, you guys have it on a platter. When I went 13 years back, none of this was available. So cherish this, enjoy it, spend great time with your family while you're here, and have fun.
Perfect. So on
well
that
said,
note,
Shivani, well said. I think the last one was have fun. I love that.
Yeah. Perfect. So on that note, it's been an absolute pleasure hosting all of you. So whatever exclusive discount links, coupons that you guys would need, I'll be personally emailing them. And I'll also share the contact details of the panelists with you so that, whatever questions you have, you can just take it directly from there. Perfect. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for joining in. All the very best.
Thank you,
Take
Aman.
care.
Thank you. Take care.
Bye.
Thank you, Aman. Bye.
Bye.